Hello everyone, welcome to the video. My name is Cosolix, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys basically how to remove input lag. So a lot of people don't even realize it, but they suffer a ton from input lag in Brawlhalla. And I bet you every single person watching this video has a worse setup than me, honestly. And worse than most pros too. People like myself, Boomy, Sandstorm, the best of the best are all playing on these setups that are made to make Brawlhalla as optimal as possible and run as fast as possible to have the smoothest inputs. So most of you guys watching don't even know how to optimize Brawlhalla. How do you remove the input lag? And I'm going to be teaching you guys everything I personally do to set up for tournaments. This isn't the most educated video. This is like what I do based off a lot of my own personal research with other pros or whatever I see online and what I hear in the community. This might not be the most optimal way in a year from now, but it's the most optimal way that I know of. If there's any people that know more techniques and stuff, put it down below in the comments and I'll pin it or I'll heart it or whatever. But yeah, without further ado, this one change is going to change how you guys play Brawlhalla and could literally make you better instantly. So without further ado, let's get right into this. I basically have a Google Doc ready, and it's basically going to be tips in a row on like what to do. It's not even like tips, but it's like a half tutorial, whatever. Anyways, let's get into this. First thing, it's going to get vague and then it's going to get even more specific as we go on. Play this game on computer. If anybody is watching and they play on a console, no offense, but console Brawlhalla is awful. It locks you at 60 hertz, and this guy gave up. Let's go into the next game and I'll continue my argument why it actually sucks. Okay, so playing on PC will allow you to adjust as many settings as possible with how this game runs. So I really recommend just getting a computer. Console, you're very limited and you don't have many options. So yeah, if you play on console and you want to take your skills to the next level, maybe go pro, maybe compete in tournaments, play on computer, honestly. Even if the computer's 60 hertz, there's ways to optimize 60 hertz still better than console. So I really recommend it. Next thing, it's another thing that requires money that isn't something free. Play the game, or not play the game. Well, yeah, play the game. Get a high refresh rate monitor. This is the most direct way to remove input lag. Literally just buy something that has more hertz than 60 hertz. The higher you go up, the less beneficial it is. So 60 to 75 is a greater difference than 75 to 90, but it's still a huge difference. Or like 60 to 144 hertz, especially 144 hertz, is a crazy difference. You do not understand. You just gotta trust me. It's such a big difference. I don't know why. I know this game is technically supposed to be locked at 60 FPS, but yeah, no. The inputs are based off the refresh rate of your monitor, and maybe that's dependent on how your game runs. But yeah, get a high refresh rate monitor. The more hertz, the better. That's honestly, I'll link down below the monitor I use. I use like some ROG monitor that's like 360 hertz. But yeah, okay. Next thing, another thing that requires money, Intel processor. I currently use an AMD processor, but Daiku actually told me this. He said something to do with like how memory works on AMD and how Intel's got faster memory for some reason. I don't know. I'm pretty big into computers. I know their memory megahertz speed, its clock speed is the same, but if not, you can actually overclock it more on AMD usually. But yeah, for some reason, there's something to do with this game and Intel. I don't know. He just told me to get Intel. So if you're getting a new computer, I recommend going Intel, honestly. And just get like a 12th gen, like i5 or i7. That would definitely work. Even an i3 could work at this point pretty well. Okay, next thing. Once you're on PC, there's an option, a way to run Brawlhalla. It's called Tech Test, and I recommend using it. Why did this guy jump up? Okay, yeah, so Brawlhalla has this option called Tech Test, and it's a way of launching the game. I don't know exactly the difference in how it launches the game, but I believe it uses some either like different drivers or something. anyways, the game runs smoother for me when I use tech test, so I recommend using it. It's something I use. But yeah, use tech test. Another thing is there's a way to run Brawlhalla. There's this thing in Steam. They're called launch options. And basically they're, oh my god, the guy disconnected. Okay, so yeah, there's a thing called launch options for Steam, and they basically are like little commands that you can do to run your game in a certain way. Especially, there's this one launch option that removes the anti-cheat for Brawlhalla. It's noeac. I'm gonna send, like, there's gonna be like a little thing down below in the description, or it's gonna be showing on screen, depending on what Flipside does with the edit. If not, then yeah, just check the description. And basically, it's going to be like a launch option. So you set that, you copy and paste the code into your launch options in Steam, and it's going to run the game without anti-cheat and with some other things that some people recommended to me, and I've had no issues with them. My game runs really smoothly, so I recommend maybe even using them yourself. But yeah, these options should reduce the frame drops you get, because a lot of people have been dealing with frame drops, including myself, when easy anti-cheat is enabled. So this should definitely help with that. Next on the list, this kind of costs money too. There's this program online. It's called Exit Lag. I actually have a code with them, code Cosolix, for I think it's like 20 or 30% off. But basically what this program does is it finds the fastest route to the Brawlhalla servers, and it puts your computers, like, it tells your ISP to connect to the servers using this route. So how the internet works is, for your connection to go one place to another, there's a series of like roads it needs to travel on, right? And you can think of it like getting to a place in a city. But there's so many different paths, which one's optimal. So this one is basically like Waze, if you know what that app is. It will tell you the best optimal route to the servers, and it will reduce your ping and make it as consistent and low as possible. This should help with online lag and should reduce rollbacks, and it really works for me. And I definitely recommend using it, at least for the time being. I know Brawlhalla has some ambitions of potentially putting in their game one day. They mentioned that on a stream. But so far, that is definitely the best alternative to reducing ping in Brawlhalla. So check out Exit Lag. I'm going to link them down below. Next, when you're on a computer, I would recommend an NVIDIA driver. Not driver, graphics card. They're really expensive, but the reason I recommend it, at least for this video, is I don't know how to optimize AMD. Other people know more than me, but I have an RTX 2070 Super, and NVIDIA has a thing called an NVIDIA control panel. And basically, it allows you to set your graphics to run with certain settings for every program. So if you're going to manage 3D devices in your control panel, and then you hit the program, you press Brawlhalla, there's a lot of options that you can put. I'm going to put an image on screen now of the options that I use. So specifically, it's like low latency and some other stuff. That's the settings that I use. If you know how to use that, then I'd recommend setting those. If you don't know how to use it, then I'd watch a tutorial on how to use it in NVIDIA control panel, or get someone that knows how to use it and show them those settings. And yeah, those help me, so I definitely recommend it as well. Next thing, in your control panel on Windows, there is a setting that essentially adjusts how, what is this guy doing? There's a setting that adjusts how your processor runs. It can run in different modes, like a balanced for like better power draw, or like performance or max performance. I will like really recommend to put it in as high performance as possible. Okay, so yeah, in the control panel, you go to System and Security, Power Options, and then you're gonna see a bunch of different performance modes. Okay. There's a picture on screen now. It shows the performance that I'm using. Since I have an AMD CPU, it shows an AMD high performance mode. You might not have that. You might just have high performance. You might have to press a little drop down at the bottom just to see it. But yeah, just the highest CPU performance as possible is what I recommend. Next thing. Okay. If you know what this is, there's a program on every Windows computer called Task Manager. And in Task Manager, if you press Details, you can see every program running on your computer. However, what you can also do is you can adjust how these programs run. Your processor manages system calls, and it manages tasks in an order, in a priority list, and there's a queue, right? It will like send one, one thing that needs to be run, and then like there's an order, there's a queue of things that need to be run. What this does is it puts Brawlhalla at the #1 priority. So put it high priority, okay? There's a little, you right click the program, you click set priority, and then go high priority. And what this does is it prioritizes Brawlhalla over other programs on your computer for the processor. So this is a great way of just reducing at least even like little bits of input lag, especially if your processor can't handle it. And yeah, I've noticed some minor adjustments with that. It definitely helps a little bit. A little bit goes a long way here with input lag. Okay, what's next? If you have any background programs open, you can check Task Manager. I recommend closing as many as possible. Background programs have caused me a lot of lag in Brawlhalla over the years, so especially programs like Spotify have really caused me lag. The only thing I keep open during tournament is Google Chrome, and that's not even that optimal sometimes. I've used different browsers like Opera where I can like manage the resources that it uses. Okay, a couple more things. Next, if you have dual monitors on your computer, I don't know if Windows has fixed this, but there's an input lag issue with 2 monitors. If they have fixed it, then that's good. But it specifically happens when you have 2 monitors with different make. If they are like different monitors from a store, then you're gonna get some input lag. And I used to get a ton of input lag for this exact reason. Again, Windows might have fixed this by now, but I really recommend just play with 1 monitor, see if you feel a difference. If you really don't feel a difference, then maybe they fixed it. But I play Brawlhalla with only 1 360Hz monitor because I just don't want to risk it with Windows. 2 more things. If you're on controller, there's a way to overclock your controller. And by overclocking a controller, every controller has a thing called a polling rate, and basically it checks for your inputs once like X amount of times per second, right? Or like once every X milliseconds or whatever, right? There's basically an overclock program that allows you to drastically increase the polling rate so it grabs it as fast as possible. And I'm gonna link a YouTube video down below in the description on the overclock method. I use this exact same one. This video is very popular. It's got a lot of views, a lot of likes, and it's been very safe for me. So I definitely recommend it for any controller players that are looking to reduce their input lag. I missed the bow there. Okay, last thing, okay? And then we're literally done this video. On controller, there's this little setting called improved joystick. It's in the Brawlhalla controls, okay? I would turn this off, personally. I don't like playing with it. Actually, I'll show you after this game. I really don't like playing with this setting. It's the bottom one, improved sticks. I would get misinputs and just issues. Just turn it off, in my opinion. I hate it, personally. So, if you prefer it on, then you prefer it on. I turn it off. I'm just telling you guys what I do. But guys, this is everything I do to optimize Brawlhalla. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like, subscribe, comment down below, and let me know if any of these tips or if any of this, I don't know, it's almost like a guide video tutorial, helped you guys improve at Brawlhalla. Reducing input lag is something that will immediately make your game better, and I really hope this video can help out at least some of you guys. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.